we're just going to do this with the noisy air conditioner because it's too hot to be without the air conditioner. I am doing my double layer engraving. I do the first layer as a bitmap and the second layer as line art. So the first layer is this one. I'm going to put my material as wood, and I'm just going to use the basswood. I've got a big old chunk of wood in there. And I'll just use whatever it automatically picks for that one. Sometimes I'll move it a little bit higher so it'll go faster because I'm impatient, which I may just do that right now. Go ahead and move it a little bit higher. Give it some more power and faster. We'll go about 400 and go with that and see how that goes. So I'm going to go 91 and 401 because I can't do even numbers apparently. I'm going to stick with that. Push my autofocus. I've got it sized the size I want it to be on there. I don't know how it's going to turn out. We're going to find out. I just did this to another one, and I'll show you about it in just a second when this one gets started. I've tried this on the Lumos and on the Vista. It works on both of them. This is actually my first day doing it on the Vista with a little bit bigger pictures, and I really like the way they come out. Alright, let's see how many millions of minutes. 31 minutes. Not bad. I can live with 31 minutes. Okay, push in. Okay, gotta get over here to the Lumos. Let it get started. Oh gosh, did I push the... I don't think I pushed the button on there. I did. Yes, I did. Oh, I just didn't push the button hard enough. Okay, so the one that I just did is this one. I did one layer of the bitmap image and then a layer of the line outlining. And I'll show you how I did that in just a sec. And back here where my original picture was, that, and I'm going to take the original picture, and I want to keep it because I'm not going to use it again, so I'm going to copy it. Use my good old Control C for copy, Control V for paste. If you don't know shortcuts, you don't know what you're missing in life. You got to learn these things. Oops, I did it twice. It works so good. Now, oh my gosh, or maybe. Okay, so now I'm going to run the sketch tool. Up here at the top, there's this little tool called Sketch. You click it, and my stuff's in the way, so I'm going to move that and then click it. Okay, so confirm. I just leave it at its defaults. You can play with it some and see what happens, but usually just doing the defaults kind of works. So I'm going to pull it down here, and you can see it's just a weird little goofy looking line outline thingy. It works though. Now I can delete that one. Alright, I'm going to bring it back over here, and for it I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move my settings up a little bit, get to 90. Doesn't want me to move my speed any higher. That's okay, but I really want it to be dark, so I'm going to go to 90 for the darkness. And when it's done with the other one, I will go back and refresh so I can line this up, and I'll show you that part next. While my Vista is working on this image, I'm going to use the same image in my Lumos. And I put some leather in here. I'm sitting there making some little goofy keychain type things that I can turn into cute little stuff later. Those I just did plain, but watch this process on the leather. It works out really nicely. I put a piece of leather in there. I've got my little grid thingy so that I can work on stuff that's going to cut out. It's pretty lined up. Move it a little bit. Yep, now I think we're lined up good. I'm going to shut that down and go over here. Same thing, except I want to make this into like a keychain, so I'm going to go over here and get a circle and put a little spot for a hole at the top. So that little thing's going to be the hole. I'm going to push cut so that it will be cuttable. And then I'm going to take both of them by selecting them both. And I'm going to go up to my align button and center horizontally so they'll be lined up, so it'll be in the middle. So that's centered. And now I'm going to go and use the offset button. The offset will make me have a little cute cutout. And if you look right here, see how it's not really attached good? I need to slide this until it's all attached good, but not too weird. And like, look over here. I can't go crazy. I don't want to be gigantic. I just want it to be pretty good outline to where I'm not going to lose my circle. Yeah, right in there. I think that's a pretty good one. I'm going to stick with that. Push confirm. And now I'm going to make the outline also cut. When I do these little outlines like that, the offset, I select them both together. All I did was drag my mouse down till it touched both things I'm trying to catch. And then I go to merge and subtract the overlapping shapes, and it makes it so they're all one piece. Oh, bueno. Control Z. Undo. Yes. Now it went back in place. Okay. So I am going to actually wait to do the cutout. So I'm going to scoop my cutout over here for right now. But I do want to do this part. And it's on bitmap. I'm just going to go again with what it has. I've already got it on leather, vegetable tan. It only gives you one color choice. So I just go with the one it gives me. I push start. And it says 5 minutes. Send. My leather's a little bit crookedy, so it's probably okay. I think it's flat enough. It'll be all right. It's got some waves in it, but it won't matter that much for this purpose. And I need to clean the inside of my stuff there a little bit. We'll see how this one looks. Meanwhile, go check on the other one. How's it going? Oh, it's very, very light. It is really, really light. I may have to go over that one twice. I could just rerun it just like it is, and it'll probably get deep enough that I want it to look a little bit deeper. And then I'll do the other part. This one's going good. Shoot, this one, the letters are coming out really good. I'm curious about how this little raccoon's gonna look. This raccoon on this one looked all right, and I turned it into a line image. It was a bitmap. These were already line images I found on Creative Fabrica. There's a little stabby cap that I tried to do on that fake leather junk. I hate it. It's just awful. I'm not going to use it. And then here's a couple of little tiny things I made with wood for earrings, and I think those are okay. I like the leather better, but I'm going to go with that. So, see how he comes out. Shoot, he's so good, he may not actually need any outlining, unless if I did it really light. Yeah, I like the way it's coming out. Alright, now we're going to try this with the Lumos. I have leather over here. These are just scraps from other projects, and I've got my little bladed base in there. I've already got it set to where it's pretty level. Some of this is a little wonky. Sometimes I'll wet it to make it flat again, but I'm not worried. It's not that far off. Got it already set focused. Don't forget you got to use your little knob on the side to make sure it's focused good. Here's an image I'm going to put on there, and it's a bitmap image, and it's probably a little bit too dark. I'm going to go a little bit lower on my power on it, because I want it to be kind of light to start with. And I'm going to push refresh so I can see how big it is on that little piece of leather, because I don't know how much room I have. I have a good amount of room. Let me move it a little bigger then. I'm just turning these things into just little keychains. This is scraps that I would have otherwise not gotten anything out of. So this is my first part of the image right here. My settings I ended up with, it is 68 and 254 and dot duration 230. That's just kind of what it gave it, but I did lower the power down just a little bit, and I don't even have a material selected. Actually, let me do that and see what it changes. Leather, vegetable tan. They only have green on here, and the only veg tan I ever get is beige. So let's just go with that. Let's see what it changed it to. It changed it a little bit. I still want to bring it down just a teeny bit so it's not quite as dark as they show it. And I'm going to push start. 2 minutes. Yay. I like fast projects. Push my button. Let that thing start going. Looking pretty cute. So far, so good. It might be slightly darker than I had planned, but I think it'll be just fine for demonstration purposes. Okay, while that's going, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to minimize. And I'm going to do two things. First, I need an outline of the whole thing. So I want to make this a keychain. I'm going to put a little circle. Make me a circle. And I'm going to put it above his hat. That's pretty good. Sometimes I use my shift key to make sure they actually stay circle-ish, but I can't use all of my hands at once. I've only got 2 of them, unfortunately. So that's going to have to do. Next, I want to make sure these 2 are lined up evenly. So I'm going to select them both, align, center horizontally. Now that little dot's right in the middle. Next, I'm going to, I want to use both of them again. I need to select them both again and use the offset button, which is basically outline. And it's not bad where it is. I can move it a little bit. Eek, too much. Not enough. Oops, way too low. Here. It's a fine line. Just a little less than that. Okay, I can live with that. It's not perfect, but I think I'll live with it. Actually, I just push the button and make it a little bit less. A few notches. Okay, I'm going to stick with that. Push confirm. Now I have an outline, but right now it's set at line engrave, so I'm going to click away because I don't want to select that part too. I just want to select these 2 things, so I'm going to just make a little mouse toggle over those 2 objects till they're both selected. And there, I think I got all 3 of them. Try again. Come on. Not this difficult. I'm going to push cut on that one just so it actually is more friendly at doing this. He keeps wanting to pick the cow. I'm going to move the cow over. That's not the cow. Undo. Little cow. Oh my gosh, it won't listen to me. Let's just do this the old-fashioned way. I'll put him back in the middle. He looks pretty good. Okay, select both of them. They're both on cut. I'm going to merge them, merge the graphic shapes. And even though it's kind of coming off the edge a little bit, it won't matter. Say, here's my image. I can click on this piece, and now I can kind of just make it slightly smaller so I know it'll fit on the piece of leather. Oh my gosh, I did the wrong merge. You know, sometimes we do these things. So let me put it back in the middle, make another little circle. Make it over here. I don't want to have any problems with this circle. Looks pretty good, looks sort of circle-ish. Put it in the middle where that needs to go. I think I can move over a teeny bit there. if it'll let me do that now. Align center. And it still looks crooked to me. I'm going to move it manually. Oops, not that fast. A little bit less. Maybe about right there. Okay, I'm going to stick with that for the circle. Okay. This looks great. It actually came out really, really cute. I'm going to shut it though. And now I'm going to do this other trick. You push for zoom, complete, click the cow, and I'm having troubles grabbing those layers, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over here into layers, and I'm going to click on the image that way because I can't seem to grab him. Okay, is that him? Nope, that's him. I've got a few other pictures on here, so that's the cow. And I'm going to close that now. I'm going to push sketch and confirm. And now I have just this little cute outline. I'm going to move this guy out of the way again. I still have to put these two back together. That's pretty close. This time when I merge them, I need to do that one. Subtract overlapping shapes. Okay, so we got that put together. This guy's going to go back in here. Push refresh. Now I can see what it will look like and where I'm going to line him up. I want to take all my little cute outlines and make sure they're kind of lined up good on the guy. I'm going to make it just barely on the edge there, so I'm going to go with it. And this is set to 55. I am going to move it up way higher. Let's go to 90. I want it to be a dark, dark outline. Okay, and I'm going to lower the speed down just a teeny bit. Okay, here goes nothing. Start. 2 minutes. Yes, that's what I love about the Lumos. It's so fast. Look at that. It's making this great little dark outline to just define everything and makes the picture stand out a little bit more. Since I'm not doing anything in full color, a little bit of outlining and shading actually is kind of a good thing. There, oh look. Got a little flaming up going, but it's very low, so I think we're going to be okay. I'll turn it off just in case for now. Cutting out leather is a little bit difficult and can be kind of scary. If I went slower, it would do better, but I'm trying to do this so you can see it quickly. It looks pretty good. Now, when you do it on different things, it looks a little bit differently, like I did the other one on wood. This one is on leather. So depending on what object you try this trick on, it might come out slightly differently, and you'll have to do your own adjusting, you know, maybe test it out a little bit to where you get to know what you want to do. But basically, you want your basic first image to be light and then your outline to be dark. So for light, you want to have lower power, and for dark, higher power. And bada bing. There it is. Oh my gosh, it's cute. Come out of there, little guy. It's not too bad. I kind of like it. Needs cleaning, of course. And once it's cleaned, it'll look a lot better. But it did enhance the picture just a little bit. When you've got plain black and white type images, it helps with the enhancing some. There's a couple others I did. This one came out really dark. It was like the other one that I was doing on the Vista. Here's a one that I did lines only. It came out pretty good. This one was already like a vector image, so it's pretty cute. That one's okay, but I had my hole too close to the top. Here's a little kitty cat that I did, but I did paint the leather first, and then I did the engraving, and then I put sparkle on top of it just to make it look cool. Here's a little thing I did of wood. And then here's one that I did the outlines, and for this little keychain thing, I'm just using some paint and a little tiny brush to get colors put in where I want to put my colors. So far. Getting ready to do the line engrave again. I clicked on my original image. This one's ignored at the moment. I did sketch and confirm to turn it into a little sketch thing. So there's what I've got over here. I'm going to delete that. Over here, I'm going to put my settings way slower on the speed. Probably like, I want it to almost burn it, kind of. I'll try 35, see how that goes. Got to autofocus. And I'm going to push refresh to make sure I didn't move it any. It looks pretty good. Alright, autofocus. And again, I picked a high power because I want it really dark, and a low speed. See how it goes with the outline. Since the picture was so faint, I think the outline needs to be a lot darker for this to be halfway successful. The first one came out super great, so odds are this one won't. That's just how it seems to roll. Alright, 4 minutes. Let's go start it and see what happens. Should be able to see a little bit of a dark outline right away. Oh yes, it is actually working. Okay. I had worried it wouldn't show up at all, but the high power and the low speed really did its trick. Looks like it hasn't been cleaned in a month, and I cleaned it like crazy 2 days ago. See around those letters pretty good. Here's another little tip for you. I use these tiny little ribbity things. They have like teeth on one side, and I put them inside the holes that I make for my keychain so that they're going to be sturdier, especially this one where it's on the edge too close. And then I use this little machine to press it down and push it together so that when I put the hooks in it for the keychain things, it will actually not be quite as flimsy if it was just regular leather. Alright, this one is done. Bring him out. Not so bad. I like the other one a little better. When you look at them both together, that one just turned out better because it had original darker shades. So I'm probably going to go in and paint on this one a little bit and make it look a little bit nicer, but I love it. And I love the way the outlines are. It makes it easier to paint if you do want to paint things. There's my little keychains. I had one lady bought 20 of these little keychains like the cat for work for her little Halloween thing. And, you know, it came out pretty good. But yes, this is the two next to each other. This one much better. But when I add paint to that guy, he's going to look adorable. Ooh, and it's got flames, so I'll have to do some fire on there. Alright, I am so stubborn I had to redo this little guy 3 times, but this is the outlining part again. And I got it light enough finally, but I ended up moving all my settings down way lower. I just had to play with it. I moved 2 of the settings down lower and got it still really dark, but then I left the bottom one too high. So now it's much better, and I think it's going to look better than the first 2 tries. There it is cutting it out. And I'm working on painting this little guy. He's looking much better. So, yeah, that was a lot better than it was. This one's not too bad, and once you clean it off, it doesn't look so bad, but I just like the light one better. I may actually go over the outlines on that again. It still could have a darker outline. But first I'll let it finish cutting it out. Deleted the outline, and I'm going to reprocess this part right here. So just got to push complete. I'm not moving anything and hoping it stays in the right exact spot. Push start. This time I'm doing 100 and 250. It says 17 seconds. Boy, is this guy fast. Boom, boom, boom. One more little outline. It's probably going to make a lot of difference, but a little better. Okay. There we go. It's pretty darn cute. Not bad at all. And I kind of like the dark one too. I like them both. They're just a little different.